God is saying your good days will start, and you will receive $60 million on the 20th of May, 2025. Prayer for money. Are you ready for today at 6 a.m.? Are you truly ready for what God is about to do in your life? If not, take a moment right now to open your heart and prepare yourself, because something extraordinary is on its way to you. Something that will shift your entire perspective and awaken you to the greater plan God has in store for you. You might feel uncertain or even a little scared, wondering, why now? Why me? What if I'm not ready? But let me tell you, God never makes mistakes, and He has not forgotten you. Today is no ordinary day. This very day, May 20th, 2025, is marked in heaven with your name on it, because God is speaking clearly. Your good days are starting now, and you will receive $60 million, not by chance, but by divine design. That number may seem impossible, even overwhelming, but you serve a God who moves mountains, parts seas, and blesses beyond human understanding. Don't think of it only as money. Think of it as the manifestation of favor, of overflow, of years of silent prayers being heard all at once. Let me take you back to the story of Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused and locked in prison, his life seemed to spiral from one hardship to another. But do you know what never left Joseph? The favor of God. In the middle of injustice, God was preparing something incredible. One day, in the blink of an eye, Joseph was called out of prison and promoted to the palace. He became second in command over all of Egypt. He didn't see it coming, but God did. And just like Joseph, your pit is not your final stop. It's just the place before the promotion. God is saying to you right now, I've seen your pain. I've seen your faithfulness when no one else was watching. Now I'm rewarding you in front of those who doubted you. What if this moment you're in right now, the confusion, the uncertainty, is actually the setup for the greatest testimony of your life? Let's pause here. What would change in your life if you truly believed that God's promises were about to come true? Not next year, not someday, but today. What would you do differently if you knew that heaven had already written your breakthrough into the story? This is not a time to doubt. It's a time to declare. Speak it boldly. My good days start now. My breakthrough is here. My hands will receive what God has stored up for me. Don't limit God with your own expectations. Isaiah 55, verse 8, reminds us that God's thoughts are not our thoughts, neither are His ways our ways. What He has for you is so much bigger than what you're asking for. That $60 million? It's a sign that God is about to entrust you with something massive because He knows you'll use it to bless others. It's a symbol of impact, of kingdom purpose, not just financial overflow. Ask yourself, what mission has God planted in your heart that's been waiting for the resources to bloom? God doesn't speak words of hope to tease you, He speaks to fulfill. Psalm 20, verse 1 says, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob defend you." That's His promise to you. He hears, He answers, and He protects. So yes, you may be nervous about what's coming. You might feel like you're not ready, but you don't have to be perfect to be chosen. God qualifies the willing. And if your heart is open, that's all He needs to begin a miraculous work in your life. Don't think you're too broken, too late, or too small. Moses was stuttering, Gideon was hiding, David was a shepherd, and yet God used each of them to change history. Why not you? You see, God is not just interested in blessing you, He's interested in transforming you. The money, the favor, the open doors, they're all part of the larger story. a story where your testimony lights the way for others. Maybe you've been praying, "Lord, when will it be my turn?" And now God is whispering back, "Today, my child. Now." But here's the key. You must receive this not just with your mind, but with your spirit. You must stand up in faith even when your circumstances haven't changed yet and say, "I believe, Lord." Can you do that today? Can you believe it before you see it? As you wait for this promise to unfold, don't sit in fear. Rise in praise. Pray like you've already received it. Walk like the money is already in your account. Move like the doors have already opened, because that kind of faith moves heaven. And let me say this, your preparation matters. God doesn't pour blessings into hands that are not ready to carry them. So start organizing your vision. Start planning for a purpose. Who will you bless with that money? What causes will you support? What dreams will you resurrect? The journey to this moment has not been easy, but it has been sacred. Every tear you've cried, every silent prayer, every night you felt alone, God collected it all. He's been writing your victory story in the background. So now, as you stand on the edge of breakthrough, don't shrink back. Step forward boldly, because your good days don't start next week. They start now. The promise is not distant. It is here. God is doing a new thing, and your job is to say yes to it. Here are the lessons to carry in your heart today. First, God's timing is never random. He aligns the right moment with your readiness. Second, your promise requires your participation. Walk in faith, speak in faith, plan in faith. Third, your blessing is not just about you. It's about the people God will touch through you. And finally, don't let fear rob you of a future that faith has already secured. You were born for this moment. The question now is, will you walk into it? My beloved child, lean in closely and open your heart, because today, yes, this very day, something is unfolding that will transform your entire life. I'm not here to stir fear in you, and I know hearing this might make your heart beat faster, maybe even cause you to wonder, what's going on? But I ask you, don't walk away from this moment. Don't disconnect from this message. Please stay with me a little while longer, because the truth I'm about to reveal to you holds the key to your next season. You're not here by accident. These words are reaching you right now because they're meant for you. God has a divine appointment with you today, and the timing is not random. It's sacred. Something is shifting in your favor, even if your eyes can't see it yet, even if your circumstances haven't caught up to it yet. The spiritual realm is moving. God is saying that your good days are about to begin. Not later, not next year, but now. He's marked the 20th of May, 2025, as a day where His abundance and grace will overflow into your life, and you shall receive $60 million, not just as wealth, but as a symbol of God's extravagant provision and the promises He made to you long ago. Does this sound unbelievable? That's okay. Sometimes, the most powerful blessings feel like fairy tales when we're standing in the middle of a storm. But God doesn't speak lightly, and He never promises what He will not fulfill. He is not a man that He should lie. What He declares, He delivers. And today, He's telling you to prepare. Not just your hands to receive, but your heart to believe. This isn't just about money. This is about restoration. It's about doors that were once shut being opened. It's about lost time being redeemed. It's about you walking into a purpose that has been waiting for you to finally trust that it's real. What does faith look like in this moment for you? Can you believe even before you see? Can you declare His promises before they manifest? Let me take you to a story that echoes this very moment. In the book of 2 Kings, there's a widow who was about to lose everything. Her husband was dead, her debts were overwhelming, and her 2 sons were on the verge of being taken as slaves. She cried out to the prophet Elisha, and do you know what he asked her? "What do you have in your house?" She replied, "Nothing except a small jar of olive oil." And that's all God needed. That tiny jar, when surrendered in faith, became the vessel of a miracle. She poured, and the oil didn't stop flowing until every jar she could find was filled. She paid off her debts and lived off the rest. That's how God works. He takes what little you have, your hope, your willingness, your faith the size of a mustard seed, and multiplies it until it overflows. So I ask you now, what do you have in your house? What can you surrender to God today, trusting that He can multiply it? You see, God doesn't need what you don't have. He starts with what you are holding now, even if it feels like nothing. Your tears, your broken prayers, your whispered dreams in the dark. He hears them all. Psalm 20 verse 1 says, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob defend you." That's not just a poetic verse, it's a promise. God answers in times of trouble. He responds to desperation wrapped in faith. And this message reaching you now is part of His answer. Now let's talk about what's coming. God is not just preparing to bless you financially. He's preparing to elevate you spiritually. This is not just about money. It's about mission. It's about purpose. When God puts $60 million into your hands, He's not just giving you wealth. He's entrusting you with influence. He's assigning you to build, to bless, to serve, to heal, to change the lives of others. Are you ready for that? Are you preparing your spirit for leadership, your heart for generosity, your hands for stewardship? This isn't just a windfall, it's a calling. God doesn't give where He's not growing. So yes, your sleepless night tonight will be one of awakening, not of anxiety. Your soul will stay awake because heaven is downloading vision into your spirit. He's rewriting your story while the world sleeps. There will be moments where doubt tries to creep in, moments where the enemy whispers, "This is too big, too good, too far-fetched." But remember what Isaiah 55 verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose." God's word never fails. Not once, not ever. And His word over your life today is one of overflow, breakthrough, and divine intervention. You will not be the same after this. You will wake up tomorrow, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. Let me ask you, what are you believing for? Not just hoping for, not just wishing for, but truly believing for with a heart full of expectation? Because faith is not passive, it's active, it leans forward, it speaks life over dead places, it prepares even before the rain comes, it builds an ark when there's not a cloud in the sky. That's the kind of faith God is calling you into today, a faith that doesn't wait for confirmation, it becomes the confirmation. And here's the heart of it all. God sees you. He knows you by name. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't overlooked you. Every setback, every delay, every disappointment. It was all part of the preparation. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. Every door that closed made way for this one open door that no man can shut. Every no led you to this divine yes. Your life is not a random sequence of events. It is a tapestry God has been weaving, thread by thread, in love, in grace, and in perfect timing. So here's what you must take with you today. First, God is faithful. His promises are not empty. If He said your good days are starting, then start preparing for joy, peace, provision, and healing. Second, God is abundant. 60 million is just a number to Him. But it's also a symbol of how He doesn't do small miracles. He does exceedingly and abundantly above all we could ask or think. And third, your role is to believe, to trust, to walk in faith. Not just when it makes sense, but especially when it doesn't. Let this message be your reminder and your wake-up call. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are deeply seen, deeply known, and deeply loved. And on the 20th of May, 2025, your life is going to reflect the hand of God in a way that will leave everyone who knows you in awe. So lift up your eyes, child of God. Your good days are not coming. They have begun. Dear friend, I sense that you're standing at a crossroads, your heart filled with questions and perhaps a touch of apprehension. You might be wondering, why should I stay awake tonight? Or, why is this night so significant? Maybe you're even asking, am I okay? Let me assure you, these questions are valid, and you're not alone in seeking answers. Tonight is not just any night. It's a moment of divine significance. It's a time when the universe aligns to bring forth blessings that have been long awaited. I understand that fear may be creeping in, urging you to retreat into the comfort of sleep. But I implore you to stay awake, to remain alert, for this night holds the promise of transformation. Consider this. Every extraordinary event in life often comes with a sense of anticipation and a call to awareness. Just as a farmer stays vigilant during the harvest season, so too must you be attentive to the signs and wonders unfolding around you. Pay close attention to the people you encounter, the emotions that stir within you, and the subtle messages that the universe is sending your way. Remember the words from Psalm 20, verse 1? May the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. This verse serves as a reminder that in times of uncertainty, divine protection and guidance are ever present. Now, let's delve deeper into the significance of this night. It's not merely about staying awake physically, but being spiritually and emotionally attuned to the shifts occurring within and around you. Reflect on your journey thus far, the challenges you've overcome, the lessons you've learned, and the resilience you've built. These experiences have prepared you for the blessings that are about to manifest. Imagine the possibilities that await you. Envision the doors that are opening, the opportunities that are presenting themselves, and the abundance that is flowing into your life. This is a time to embrace faith over fear, to trust in the divine plan that is unfolding, and to welcome the blessings with open arms. As you navigate this transformative period, keep in mind the comforting words from Psalm 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. This verse reassures us that we are guided and provided for, even in times of uncertainty. So, I ask you, what is it that your heart truly desires? What dreams have you been nurturing in silence? This is the moment to bring them to the forefront, to speak them into existence, and to align your actions with your aspirations. In conclusion, tonight is a sacred opportunity to connect with your inner self, to listen to the whispers of your soul, and to embrace the blessings that are making their way to you. Stay awake, stay alert, and stay receptive to the miracles unfolding in your life. Remember, you are not alone on this journey, and the universe is conspiring in your favor. May this night be the beginning of a new chapter filled with hope, abundance, and unwavering faith. My beloved, lean in closely now. I'm asking for your heart, just 7 minutes of your full attention, because what I'm about to share with you is not ordinary. It's sacred, and it's unfolding even as we speak. Do not turn away, do not scroll past, and do not let doubt keep you from receiving the blessing that God is preparing for you, because something monumental is being released into your life, something that carries both spiritual and financial weight. On the 20th of May, 2025, your days of lack will be over, and your season of abundance will begin. Not just in words, but in evidence, in your hands, in your home, and in your bank account, with a divine promise of $60 million tied not only to provision, but to purpose. I know that may sound impossible. Too big, too sudden, too unlikely. But that's often how God works. He moves in ways that startle logic and humble our expectations, just so we remember it is He who makes the impossible possible. And right now He is saying to you, yes, you, that your good days are about to start. Not someday, not maybe, but on the very day appointed. This isn't about wishful thinking or blind hope. This is about divine timing. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and a hope. That's from Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And the Lord is not a man that He should lie. What He has spoken into your spirit is coming to pass. You see, God chooses moments like this. Moments when the world feels heavy, when bills stack high, when it seems like no one sees your quiet tears or hears your desperate prayers. To show you that you are not forgotten, you are chosen, you are seen. The delay you've experienced was never denial. It was preparation. Your struggle was never punishment. It was positioning. And the reason you're hearing this now, not before, not later, is because heaven has aligned the timing to your readiness. You have been faithful in little, and now it is time for the much. The tests, the betrayals, the silence, the nights when you questioned whether God even remembered your name. All of it was building the foundation for a life you couldn't have constructed on your own. And now, the heavens are opening to pour out a blessing you won't have room enough to receive. That's the kind of blessing that's promised in Malachi. And no, that's not just a metaphor. That is a spiritual law. What you sow in faith, you will reap in favor. And let me speak plainly. The promise of $60 million is not a fantasy. It is a signal. It's heaven's alarm clock waking up your faith, pushing you to believe beyond your salary, beyond your circumstances, and beyond your fears. Why 60 million? Because it's a number that breaks generational cycles, not just personal debt. It's a number that carries the power to rewrite family stories, to turn renters into owners, to transform givers into kingdom builders. It is not about luxury, it is about legacy. It is not about the size of the money, but about the size of the mission God has placed inside you. And you must prepare, not just in your wallet, but in your mind, in your spirit, and in your daily habits. Because God is not in the business of wasting miracles on the unprepared. This is your preparation moment. This is your wilderness before the promised land. So don't tune out. Don't look around for signs of proof. You are the sign. You are the confirmation. The fact that you're still listening, still breathing, still hoping is evidence that the enemy didn't win, and that your story isn't over. Friend, hear me now. There are moments in life when you have to step out of the logic of what you know and into the flow of what God is doing. The world will say, be realistic, but faith says, be obedient. Because God isn't calling you to be realistic, He's calling you to be ready. Think of Noah. He built the ark before a single drop of rain fell. That's what faith looks like. Sometimes you have to prepare for the flood of blessing while others laugh at your belief. but don't let their doubt dilute your destiny. You are not here by accident. You were led here by divine alignment because God knew you needed this exact word at this exact moment for this exact breakthrough. Just like Esther was born for such a time as this, you are standing at the doorway of destiny, and all you need to do is believe enough to step through it. Psalm 20, verse 1 says, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you." And today, He is not only answering, He is delivering. Let's pause for a moment and reflect. How many times have you felt disqualified from greatness because of your past? How many times have you looked at your bank account and felt shame, or stared at unpaid bills and felt unworthy? But God is not asking you for perfection. He is inviting you into partnership. He doesn't need your resume. He wants your yes, your surrender, your faith that still stands when everything else falls apart. That's where the real power is. Because grace does not require credentials. It only requires trust. That's why the Word says, "Lean not on your own understanding." The kind of favor God is about to release into your life doesn't make sense, and it isn't supposed to. That's what makes it miraculous. You are about to be blessed in front of the very people who doubted you, not to shame them, but to show them that God still exalts the humble. And when that money, that $60 million, enters your life, you will know without a doubt that it came from the hand of the Lord. Not a lottery, not a hustle, not luck, but God. And with that financial blessing comes a sacred responsibility to give, to build, to sow, to serve. Not just to elevate your lifestyle, but to elevate the kingdom. You will fund dreams, you will restore hope, you will sponsor miracles, and the peace that will follow will not be temporary. It will be the peace that surpasses all understanding, the kind of peace that cannot be bought, only gifted. So I ask you now, are you ready? Are you willing to believe again, to trust beyond reason, to pray like you've already received it, and to walk like it's already done? Because the clock is ticking toward your miracle. The day is set. The blessing is scheduled, and all heaven is watching to see how you'll respond, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with praise, with preparation, with purpose, because when God speaks a promise, He provides the power to fulfill it. And now, beloved, I leave you with this truth. When the timing is divine, the outcome is unstoppable. As the poet Rumi said, "What you seek is seeking you." And perhaps what you're hearing right now is not just an answer to your prayer. It's your calling, whispering back, "I've been waiting for you to believe." My dear friend, I want you to pause for a moment and truly listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. God is speaking to you right now, whispering promises of hope, abundance, and transformation into your life. He sees your struggles, your dreams, and your unwavering faith. And He wants you to know that your good days are not just ahead. They are beginning now. Yes, you heard that right. God is declaring that your season of favor has arrived, and with it comes a blessing so immense it will leave you in awe. $60 million bestowed upon you on the 20th of May, 2025. This isn't merely about financial gain. It's about the manifestation of God's grace and the fulfillment of His promises in your life. Remember the words from Psalm 20, verse 1. May the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. These aren't just words. They are assurances that God is attentive to your prayers and ready to act on your behalf. He is your protector, your provider, and your unwavering support. Consider the profound truth in Psalm 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This verse encapsulates the essence of God's provision. As your shepherd, He leads you to green pastures and still waters, ensuring that every need is met, every desire fulfilled, and every burden lifted. With Him guiding you, lack becomes a thing of the past, and abundance becomes your new reality. Now, I invite you to reflect deeply. What does this promise mean for you? How will you prepare your heart and life to receive such a blessing? It's essential to align yourself with God's will, to open your heart to His guidance, and to trust in His timing. This is a call to deepen your faith, to engage in heartfelt prayer, and to live with the expectation that God's promises are true and imminent. Imagine the impact this blessing will have, not just on your life, but on those around you. With $60 million, you have the opportunity to be a vessel of God's generosity, to uplift communities, to support causes close to your heart, and to bring hope to those in need. This is more than a financial windfall. It's a divine assignment to steward God's resources wisely and compassionately. As you move forward, keep your eyes fixed on God's promises. Let your faith be the compass that guides you, your prayers the bridge that connects you to the divine, and your actions the testament of your trust in Him. Embrace this season with gratitude, humility, and a readiness to act according to God's will. Remember, He is with you every step of the way, leading you into a future filled with hope, purpose, and unparalleled blessings. So, my friend, are you ready to step into this new chapter of your life? Are you prepared to receive the abundance that God has prepared for you? Open your heart, lift your eyes to the heavens, and say, "Yes, Lord, I am ready." Because your good days are not just coming. They are here. Embrace them with faith and joy, knowing that God's promises never fail. Now, take a deep breath with me and step into this moment, because what is about to unfold isn't just another word. It's a divine shift, a turning point crafted just for you. You're not here by accident. There's a reason your heart feels stirred tonight, a reason your spirit can't quite settle. This isn't just another ordinary moment, and you can sense it. Deep down, something inside of you knows that change is coming. Not just any change, but the kind that transforms your whole story. Maybe you've been carrying the weight of lack, the heavy silence of unanswered prayers, or that familiar ache of waiting for breakthrough. But tonight, God is saying something bold, something specific, and it's for you. Your good days are beginning, and on the 20th of May, 2025, you will receive $60 million. That number may seem overwhelming. That date may seem unreal, but don't shrink your faith to match your fear. Expand your belief to match God's promise. You may be asking yourself, can something that big really happen to me? And that's a good question, because faith doesn't start with answers. It starts with questions that lead us to God. Do you remember how David, just a shepherd boy, stood before Goliath with only a sling and a stone? He wasn't backed by worldly resources, but by heavenly favor. And in that moment, the impossible bowed before faith. God didn't just give David victory, He gave him legacy. So if you've been underestimated, overlooked, or told that you're aiming too high, remember this: God often delivers His biggest blessings through the most unexpected people. Could that be you? God is not teasing you with this word. He's training your heart to receive it. There is a reason your mind can't let go of that number. $60 million, and that specific date. It's because God is working behind the scenes in ways you can't see yet. And no, this isn't about greed or fantasy. This is about assignment. That blessing isn't just for you to keep. It's for you to use, to lift others, to sow into broken places, to heal the ground with your generosity. When God blesses, He blesses with purpose. Have you ever considered what He could do through you if you stopped doubting and started preparing? Right now, you might feel unqualified. You might be thinking about every mistake, every setback, every door that's shut in your face. But God isn't consulting your past to determine your future. When He speaks, His word carries authority that overrides circumstances. As it says in Psalm 20, verse 1, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you." That protection includes your dreams. That covering includes your provision. God knows exactly where you are, and He's not late. He's precise. He's a God of timing and truth. That's why the promise of May 20th, 2025 is not just random. It's appointed. Let's pause and reflect on a story from the Bible, one that speaks directly to financial miracle and obedience. In 2 Kings chapter 4, there was a widow who was in debt and about to lose her 2 sons to slavery. She cried out to the prophet Elisha, and all she had in her home was a little oil. That small jar became the source of overflow once she followed the instructions. Go, borrow vessels, not a few. Her miracle wasn't in what she lacked, but in what she obeyed. The oil flowed as long as she had room to receive. So here's a question for you. Do you have room to receive what God wants to pour into your life? Is your heart open? Is your faith stretched wide enough to hold what God wants to release? Tonight isn't about hype. It's about alignment. It's about waking up the dreamer inside of you who's been silenced by disappointment. If you've ever prayed, "God, I just need a breakthrough," then this word is for you. That money, that specific number, $60 million, is not a joke. It's a seed from heaven, waiting for your faith to water it. And don't just wait passively. Start preparing now. Start living like you believe it's coming. Speak like it's on its way. Budget like it's already real. Build your plans around purpose, not panic, because when the promise arrives, it will be too late to prepare. So prepare today. You might be wondering, why me? Why would God choose to bless me like this? But the better question is, why not you? Why wouldn't a good God want to use you to make a mark on this world? He sees the tears no one else saw. He heard the late-night prayers when you whispered, "Lord, don't forget me." And He didn't. In fact, He's been setting the stage for this moment all along. Everything you've been through has been preparation, not punishment. God is positioning you to be a vessel of favor in a world starving for hope. So, lean in and listen closely. God's not asking you to figure it all out. He's asking you to trust Him more than you trust your fear, to hold on to His word tighter than you hold on to your doubts. What if you took this moment seriously? What if you prayed not from desperation, but from expectation? Let your prayer tonight be full of bold faith. Lord, I believe you have good days ahead for me. I receive the promise of provision. I open my hands to the blessing, and I commit to using it for your glory. And watch how heaven responds. Because, friend, this isn't about luck. It's about promise. It's about you stepping into the future God has been preparing for you. And no matter who tried to tell you it was too late, too impossible, or too far out of reach, tonight you know better. As Ephesians 3, verse 20 declares, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." That power is in you. That promise is for you. So let me leave you with this. Every divine word requires human response. Don't let fear stop you from walking into favor. Stay faithful, stay open, stay ready. Because your good days are not coming, they've already begun. Start living like the miracle is already in motion. And when the 21st of May arrives, don't be surprised, just be grateful. Dear friend, I understand that you may have been grappling with feelings of loneliness, confusion, and sleepless nights, constantly questioning whether things will ever improve. Today, I bring you a message of hope and transformation. God is ready to break the chains of self-doubt and procrastination that have hindered your progress. These are not punishments directed at you, but rather at the barriers that have kept you from realizing your full potential. Consider the words of Psalm 20, verse 1. May the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. This verse reminds us that in our moments of trouble, we are not alone. God is our protector and guide. It's time to release the doubts that have held you captive and embrace the support that is always available to you. Self-doubt can be a formidable adversary, often more debilitating than failure itself. As Susie Kassem wisely noted, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. It's essential to recognize that these doubts are not reflections of your abilities, but obstacles to be overcome. By acknowledging them, you take the first step toward liberation and growth. Procrastination, too, is a silent thief of time and opportunity. The Bible warns us in Proverbs 27, verse 1, "Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring." This serves as a powerful reminder that the present moment is our most valuable asset. Delaying action only postpones the blessings that await us. In the modern world, distractions are abundant, and it's easy to lose sight of our goals. However, by focusing on our strengths and taking decisive action, we can navigate through the noise. Remember, inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage, as Dale Carnegie emphasized. Taking that first step, no matter how small, can set you on a path toward confidence and achievement. Let us also reflect on the story of Anthony Robles, a wrestler who, despite being born with one leg, became a national champion. His journey was not defined by his limitations, but by his determination and refusal to be confined by doubt. He once said, "If I quit now, I'm proving them right." His story illustrates that our perceived weaknesses can become our greatest strengths when met with perseverance. As you move forward, keep in mind the words of Psalm 20, verse 4. "May He give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed." This is not just a wish, but a promise that with faith and action, your aspirations can become reality. Trust in this divine assurance as you take steps toward your goals. In your daily life, set clear intentions and take consistent actions toward your objectives. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who uplift and encourage you. Celebrate your progress, no matter how incremental, and remain steadfast in your journey. Remember, the transformation you seek begins with the decision to act and the faith that you are supported in every step you take. As you embrace this new chapter, know that the obstacles of the past are being dismantled and a future filled with promise awaits. Your good days are not just ahead. They begin now. Walk forward with confidence, faith, and the knowledge that you are equipped to achieve the extraordinary. A prayer of blessing, faith, and expectation for divine provision. Heavenly Father, I come before you tonight with my heart open wide. I don't come with perfect words, but I come with sincere faith because I know you listen when I speak. You are my creator, my provider, my waymaker, and the one who sees beyond every wall I've ever faced. You know me better than I know myself. You see my tears, you understand my battles, and you know every silent prayer I've whispered in the night when no one else knew what I was going through. And still, you call me by name. You draw me close. You remind me tonight that something is shifting in the spiritual realm, something good, something holy, something that only you can orchestrate. Lord, I thank you that you are not a God who forgets. You are not a God who delays without purpose. You are not a God who teases, but a God who teaches. You're showing me right now that my good days are not behind me. They are ahead of me. You are declaring that my story is not over. It is just beginning in a brand new way. And so, with everything in me, I lean into your word. I lean into the promise that was spoken, that on May 20th, 2025, a financial breakthrough, a blessing of $60 million, will be released into my life. God, that number is big. It stretches me. It challenges my logic and even shakes my understanding of what's possible. But you never asked me to walk by sight. You called me to walk by faith. You never required me to have it all figured out, just to believe. So I believe. I declare right now that I receive every part of that promise, not just the money, but the assignment that comes with it, the wisdom to steward it, the grace to remain humble, and the clarity to use it for your kingdom. Father, before I ask for more, I want to say thank you. Thank you for every time you provided when I didn't know how ends would meet. Thank you for the job you gave me, the roof over my head, the food on my table. Thank you for every door you opened that I didn't even see coming. And thank you for every door you shut that protected me from harm. You are always faithful, even when I'm not. You are consistent, even when I waver. You are strong, even when I am weak. And you still see me as worthy of blessing. That alone humbles me. Now, God, I ask you to prepare me, not just financially, but spiritually and emotionally. Make me ready to carry what you're releasing into my life. Purify my intentions, heal my wounds, remove all bitterness and pride, and plant in me a heart of gratitude and generosity. Teach me to give with joy. Teach me to bless others the way you have blessed me. Make me a vessel that overflows, not for my name's sake, but for yours. Lord, I want to pause right now and speak directly to fear. Fear that says I'm not worthy. Fear that whispers I won't see this promise come to pass. Fear that tries to convince me that I've missed my moment. I reject it in the name of Jesus. You said in Psalm 20, verse 1, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you." So I trust that you are protecting me, covering me, surrounding me with favor like a shield. No fear, no doubt. No lie can cancel what you have spoken over my life. God, I also lift up my dreams, some that are alive and burning brightly, and others that have faded into the background because of disappointments. Tonight, I ask you to breathe life into every dream you placed in me that I've let go of. If you gave me the dream, then you also gave me the capacity to fulfill it. I surrender every plan to you, redirect my steps where needed, confirm my path with peace. Let every project, every business idea, every ministry vision be aligned with your will. I don't want to build without you. I don't want success apart from your presence. I want to walk with you every step of the way. As I look forward to the promise of May 20th, 2025, help me to stay faithful in the days between now and then. Let my faith not be seasonal. Let it be rooted. Let it grow stronger with every trial. Help me wake up each day with expectancy and go to bed each night in peace, knowing that your timing is perfect. And when the enemy tries to bring confusion or discouragement, remind me again of Ephesians 3, verse 20. Now, to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Your power is at work in me. That is not just a promise, it's my truth. Father, I intercede not just for myself, but for everyone connected to me, my family, my friends, even strangers who will one day be impacted by the blessing you are preparing to release. I pray healing over their lives. I pray provision over their households. I pray that the overflow you send me would become a testimony for them. Use my breakthrough as evidence of your glory. Let people see what you've done in me and say only God could have done that. Let my life be proof that you still work miracles. And Lord, I bring my whole self to you. Every burden, every need, every secret struggle, I lay it all down. If I'm going to receive this level of blessing, I want to be the kind of person who reflects your character in every season. Remove anything in me that does not honor you. Cleanse me from envy, insecurity, impatience, and greed. Replace it with faith, hope, love, and self-control. Make me mature. Make me excellent in character. Make me unshakable in integrity. Because money without wisdom is chaos, but money with purpose becomes a tool of transformation. God, I also pray over the logistics and practical side of this blessing. Lead me to the right people. Financial advisors, mentors, lawyers, accountants, people of integrity who can help me steward this promise with excellence. Close every wrong door, remove every counterfeit connection, and surround me with wise counsel. Give me discernment to know who is for me and who is sent to distract or deceive. Help me build something that lasts, something that leaves a legacy, something that points back to you. Tonight, I break every generational curse of lack. I break every mindset of poverty, every pattern of financial struggle, every inherited fear around wealth. It ends with me. From this moment on, I declare that I walk in kingdom provision, in divine favor, and in supernatural overflow. I am no longer a prisoner of just enough. I am a carrier of more than enough. And I won't apologize for the blessing. I won't hide it. I won't shrink from it. I will testify of it. And as I wait, Lord, help me worship. Help me celebrate before I see the evidence. Help me sing when I'm still in the wilderness. Let my praise be loud, not because I have everything, but because I know who holds everything. You are Jehovah Jireh, my provider. You are the God who fed Elijah with ravens, who multiplied loaves and fish, who poured oil through empty jars, and who speaks life into dead things. That same power lives today, and it lives in me. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for trusting me with this word. Thank you for preparing a blessing I can barely even comprehend. I receive it with open hands, with a joyful spirit, and with full surrender. I promise to honor you with it, to use it for good, and to always give you the glory. Let this financial miracle be the beginning of a new era in my life, an era marked by obedience, by giving, by worship, and by walking in step with you. Now I seal this prayer not just with words, but with faith. Faith that cannot be shaken. Faith that cannot be stolen. Faith that lives in the waiting and dances when the promise comes. In Jesus' holy, mighty, unfailing name I pray. Amen.